Welcome to a journey through the arteries of two economic giants, India and China. Their infrastructure tells a story of ambition, scale, and stark contrasts. Today, we're diving into a 13-minute exploration of how these nations build their future, brick by brick, road by road. Buckle up, this is India versus China, Infrastructure Showdown. Let's set the stage. China and India, home to nearly 3 billion people combined, are racing to modernize. But their approaches to infrastructure, roads, railways, ports, and power, couldn't be more different. So, what's driving this race, and who's ahead? Let's find out. Rewind to the late 20th century. China kicked off its economic reforms in 1978, pouring billions into infrastructure to become the world's factory. High-speed rail, sprawling highways, and gleaming ports sprang up at breakneck speed. By 2010, China had over 30,000 kilometers of expressways, rivaling the US. India, meanwhile, started its reforms in 1991, a decade later. Bureaucracy, land acquisition issues, and lower investment, around 3 to 4% of GDP compared to China's 9%, meant slower progress. India's rural roads, while extensive at 3.3 million kilometers by 2005, were often about jobs for the poor rather than strategic connectivity. The result? China's centralized, state-driven model built infrastructure at warp speed, while India's democratic, decentralized system faced delays but prioritized inclusivity. Let's hit the road. China's highway network is a marvel, over 160,000 kilometers of expressways by 2023, connecting megacities to remote villages. The One Belt One Road initiative, launched in 2013, links China to Europe and beyond, with a $40 billion fund fueling global trade routes. Why the gap? China's government owns most land, speeding up projects. In India, land acquisition is a battle. Democracy means every voice counts, slowing things down. Yet, India's approach ensures social sensitivity, unlike China's top-down model. Now, let's talk trains. China's high-speed rail network is the world's largest, 38,000 kilometers by 2023. In 12 years, China built what the rest of the world couldn't match. Travel from Beijing to Shanghai, 1,300 kilometers, in just 4.5 hours. That's efficiency. India's roads tell a different story. With 4.7 million kilometers of roads by 2011, India's network is vast but often congested. Only 54% are paved, compared to China's 64%. But India's fighting back. The Bharatmala program is building 34,800 kilometers of highways, aiming to cut logistics costs. Projects like the Mumbai Coastal Road show promise, but quality and pace lag behind China's Jiaozhou Bay Bridge, completed in 2011. China's centralized planning and massive funding, $150 billion annually, dwarf India's $30 billion rail budget. Yet, India's democratic process ensures projects like the Arunachal Frontier Highway consider local needs, balancing security and community. At sea, China's ports handle 174 million TEUs, 20-foot containers, annually, dwarfing India's 10 million in 2013. Shanghai and Shenzhen are global hubs, backed by projects like Sagarmala's rival, China's Maritime Silk Road. India's Sagarmala aims to boost port connectivity, but it's a decade behind. In the air, China's 463 airports with paved runways outnumber India's 253. Beijing's Daxing Airport is a futuristic marvel, while India's Delhi and Mumbai airports are modern but smaller. Air freight? China ships 10 times India's volume. Still, India's aviation is growing, with 300 million passengers annually by 2024. China's edge comes from scale and speed, but India is closing the gap with private investment and initiatives like PM Gati Shakti, streamlining logistics. Powering growth is energy. China's universal electricity access contrasts with India's 80% coverage in 2012. India's energy losses are high, 17% versus China's 6%. But India's renewable push, solar and wind, shows promise, with 35% of farmland irrigated, surpassing China's 10%. Digitally, India's mobile subscriptions per capita matched China's by 2011, and secure internet servers are neck and neck. India's IT sector thrives without heavy physical infrastructure, unlike China's manufacturing-driven digital backbone. Programs like Digital India are wiring the nation, but China's 5G rollout is years ahead. India's energy and digital gaps are narrowing, but China's head start and investment keep it ahead, for now. Fast forward to 2025. India's infrastructure spending is climbing, from 5.3% of GDP in 2024 to 6.5% by 2029, with $1.45 trillion planned. Along the line of actual control, India is building 2,000 kilometers of border roads, spurred by tensions with China. The Vibrant Village program is transforming remote areas. China is still building new cities, model villages, and the China-Pakistan economic corridor. But cracks are showing, overcapacity and debt from overbuilding. India's approach, slower but greener, avoids these pitfalls. Morgan Stanley says India's infrastructure scale, relative to GDP, now rivals China's. So, who wins? China's infrastructure is a juggernaut, scale, speed, and sheer ambition. But India is catching up, blending democracy, sustainability, and resilience. China builds for today, India builds for tomorrow. The race isn't over. With India's youth, digital prowess, and green focus, and China's unmatched execution, both are shaping the 21st century. Tell us in the comments, what's your take on this infrastructure showdown? Hit like, subscribe, and let's keep exploring the world's biggest stories. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.